Hey guys, welcome back. You're still tuned into Power Breakfast. Now, something more that we were telling you about is that members of the RBI Monetary Policy Committee remain quite cautious on inflation, but they are divided on how it should really be tackled. So Lata is here to take us through the minutes of the MPC meet and also what is this quite divided vote. Lata.
The Reserve Bank members of the MPC are very clear that inflation is not moving down as much as they would like to. The governor, for instance, points out that the November-December inflation that fell was entirely because of vegetables, which is a seasonal factor, and core is not falling. Dr. Rajiv Ranjan also pointing out similarly. He says the intermittent elements of inflation are falling, but steady inflation, which is core, continues to rise. And Dr. Patra going the distance and pointing out that inflation is actually hurting growth. The consumer surveys are indicating that people are not spending because they are, their purchasing power has been reduced, and firms are not investing because they are uncertain that inflation has firmly come down. He believes, therefore, for growth itself, inflation needs to be brought down. The external member, Dr. Bide, largely agrees with the governor and Dr. Rajiv Ranjan, saying that the core part of inflation needs to fall, and that's why he supports the rate hike. The two external members who have disagreed both on the stance and on the rate hike, Dr. Verma and Dr. Goyal, point out that much of the work is done and we have to wait to see the impact of rate hikes, which will be felt in lower inflation in the coming months. Dr. Goyal in particular saying that you will see a reduction in home demand as interest rates rise, and then inflation will come down. Dr. Verma even criticizes that the RBI forecasts are based on crude at $95, whereas crude has not been at $95 for a very long time. So inflation, therefore, has been over-projected. He also points out that the Reserve Bank was slow to raise rates, and now it is overdoing it. So while it hurt inflation earlier by slow action, now it is going to hurt growth by acting too much to make up for lost time. So clearly, it doesn't look like Dr. Verma is going to change his mind any time. But Dr. Goyal, when she spoke to us, did say that she is data dependent. And if the Rabi harvest were not to be as good, and if data proves that inflation is sticky, then yes, the policy will have to be data dependent. Dr. Bide also believing that near-term inflation could be a little higher than expected, considering the Jan inflation also has been higher. That's the sum and substance of the minutes of the Monetary Policy Committee.